All right, guys, finally back from Christmas vacation and trying to get my feet wet slowly again. It's weird when you're away from the market and you come back and the market's been on fire. It's tough to find new entries, but on an intraday basis, General Nutrition Center, GNC, met like 4 or 5 things that we look for all at once. And I mean, when you can get several things all combining to meet for a trade setup, it's a pretty powerful thing. And so I'm going to talk about why we call GNC, how I found it, and the reasons for the entry, and why I called it where I called it, and where I sold it. And it was a really nice trade today. Now, it's not fair to say how I found it because it was chat room members. I think it was Stephen B, but I don't want to give credit to the wrong person. It might have been somebody else. But anyway, a few people in the chat were talking about GNC when it was selling off today. Now, these are daily candles here. And I'll show you the intraday in just a minute, but several people were talking about it, and finally someone reached through and chat slapped me and said, "Hey Mike, what do you think of GNC?" So I looked at it. I was doing something else at the time, and I looked at it on an intraday basis, put it on the projector to show everybody, and as we talked through it, I said, hey, you know, this is a pretty good setup, and went ahead and made a call on it, and a bunch of us made money on it. But let's talk about the reasons for the call first. Now you have to picture this tail wasn't here at the time, okay? This at the time was a solid red candle, right? Just, you know, it just had that nasty look like it's going down to oblivion. Now, why was it interesting? Stephen B was the one talking about a possible stop run, okay? Now, what does that mean? You can see the most recent low right here. From, 4 or 5 days ago, the most recent low right there. So as this is selling, you have to kind of figure there are probably several stops right there, and they're probably going to get taken out. Another nice thing, a whole number right here. Oftentimes you get what's called a wash and rinse. So this is number 2 thing we were looking for, where they take out the whole number stops. And this did, let me get the lines out of the way, this did take out 31 to the downside. It went down to 30.92. So now you have 2 reasons that this was interesting, and I'll talk about the others in just a second. You had stops, a possible stop run in this area, right? Plus you had a whole number possible wash and rinse. That's a great, that little circle there, that's a great area to look for a reversal on an intraday basis. Now, there's another reason, all based on the daily chart. These first 3 reasons, all based on the daily chart. And I have to pan out to show you the 3rd reason. You know, it's going quite a ways back. We're going back to last February and March, but, whoops. But you had support. You had some, it held this area. I didn't do a very good job drawing a line. It held this area here right at 31 for, you know, about a month there, back after this gap up right here, back in February and March. So you had support at 31. You had, let me zoom back in, you had a possible stop run and a possible wash and rinse right in this area. So there's 3 reasons why this 31 area is interesting for an intraday reversal. Now let's go to intraday candles and show you how we called it. It looked like this when everyone had it on when I had it on the projector showing everybody the setup. Okay. One interesting thing here, and you don't need a drawing tool to do this, but in your mind you can just kind of loosely connect the tops of the candles, right? And you'll notice what we call shape change. See the shape change right there? See the volume compared to the volume before? You got nice volume and you've got shape change. I didn't do a great job of drawing that, but you can kind of see, if I just do this part, you can see that angle change right there. All right, anyway, and the volume. This is indicative on an intraday basis of a possible bottoming formation anyway. Intraday capitulation, the shape change, the increasing volume. Couple that with the 3 reasons I just gave you on the daily chart, and look at the volume on this 5-minute candle. Now I went ahead and a lot of times you get you'll get a trigger on 5s, meaning the first break of a previous 5. This is a very handsome candle, by the way. And as I said to people, as this was forming, I said you could just nibble under 31. You don't ever want to catch a falling knife, so you could just start a position under 31 but take it small, so even if it drops another $1, you're not going to get killed, right? It's within your loss parameters, and then find a way to add. So that was one idea, but the actual call that I made for the chat room wasn't under 31, it was at 31.19. Just based it on 10-minute candles. 10s can just take some of the whippiness you get with 5s and 2s out of it, and you can see a couple bottoming tails here, massive volume on that last 10-minute candle. So I called it on 10s, just meaning I'm looking for the first break of a 10-minute candle's high, and my stop will go below the previous 10-minute candle's low. In this case, 31.19, because the high of this candle right here The high of this candle right here is 31.18. So if the next candle hits 31.19, I'm in long. My stop goes below this candle at 30.96. And there's the trigger. And look at that little base. And even got through 32 at the end of the day. Now, I was a seller right here around 31.90, just because it's hitting the 20 period moving average. If it's going to roll back over, now this volume is more indicative of a reversal than continued selling. More than this kind of bounce usually means you've got a reversal on your hands and not a bounce into the 20 and a roll over again. And if this time of day the market was weak and GNC was holding up really well, and this could be multi-day. I told people that everyone should take some profits. But if you want to keep a few shares, this might be multi-day just because of this nice bottoming tail on the daily. Having said that, I'm all out, and it was a really nice trade. I think we did have some members that held it for the 32 break and maybe made a little bit more money. But we got a $1 move from our entry on, a little over 20 cents risk. But the point of this video is to show you how like 4 or 5 things converged to make this an excellent trade. And it was pretty cool because we had it on the projector on everybody's monitor. For everybody to see it, and I had the microphone. I was babbling the whole time, so it was kind of fun to watch the trade unfold. And there's just excellent teamwork in there because I wouldn't have even seen GNC. I was off doing something else if it wasn't for the members in there. So anyway, I've babbled enough. If you have any questions on this, just shoot me an email. Otherwise, we'll talk to you guys later.